Let me preface this by saying I have always been very honest about who I was. I never had any shame with what I am, with what my mother was, my grandmother, and a long line of women stretching back to seemingly the beginning of time. I am a witch. I have always practiced. I have always had power. And not once have I ever harmed another living being. Not ever, despite what anyone might say. Several years ago, I saw a shirt a young lady was wearing on a rare trip to town. It said, "I am the descendant of witches you forgot to burn." That shirt made me laugh. I ended up buying one off the internet at the public library. I don't have internet at home, you see. I have been a self-imposed hermit for decades now. It's for the best. I've made my choice, and I have to stick with it. Back in the 70s, when I was still relatively young, something dark came into our town. Even I couldn't ascertain where it had come from. Not even my mother, or my grandmother, or any member of our small coven could understand its origin. Regardless of where it had come from, it had come here. We first became aware of this dark thing when the first child went missing. The little boy turned up later, dead and drained, and emaciated like a dried cicada husk. We were blamed first, because of course we were. If there was anything from rain to snow, or someone with a bad case of acne, everyone in our town pointed a finger at us. Some did it in jest, some in habit, and some in outright malicious hatred. Edith had been the first one to sense the thing. I still remember that evening. We had met for tea, no witchy business at all. It had been a delightful afternoon tea, when the poor lady had clutched her pearls and gasped like she had seen a mouse. "Are you all right, Edith? Tea too hot?" my mother had asked softly, but I knew she suspected that was not the case, not with the way her eyes narrowed as she looked at the middle-aged woman. "No, dear heavens, something has come to our town. I felt it pass through like a cold wind down my spine. Something wicked." Tears were in her eyes as she spoke. My mother nodded and poured out her tea, reading the leaves while the rest of us looked on in anticipation. Her face was grim as she read what the bits of waterlogged tea leaves had to say. "My dear ladies, we have work to do," my mother said, standing, wiping her hands on her apron as she stood. And we got to work, day and night, each of us using our particular talents not only to track the thing, but to find a way to contain it. Constance read her ancient tomes and texts. Mary tracked the beast to its lair, using her divination skills. My mother and grandmother had their spells and potions, and I helped. My skills were in dreams and their interpretations. I spent many days fast asleep in medicine-induced stupor to glean what I could about this interloper. All I could learn was that it was ancient. Perhaps at one point it was worshipped. It had been summoned by those with less skill to do their bidding. Instead, it had killed its would-be jailers and fled into the world, finding victims and blood where it could. "Do you have a name, Gretchen? Without a name to bind it, our prison will not be as effective," my mother asked me, her voice filled with concern and anger, though thankfully that anger was not directed at me. "No, mother, no name. It has many names, and the dreams have not revealed its true name to me," I said softly. "No matter. The magic bindings will hold, though we ourselves will be bound to it until our deaths," my grandmother explained. Her voice was old and strained after so many weeks of working magic. She seemed as frail as paper, and as thin. "And what about after our deaths, Elizabeth? What then?" Mary asked, her voice sharp and worn thin of patience. "Then it shall be free, Unless we can learn its true name and banish it from whence it came, my grandmother said with a tiny shrug. A price we must pay to contain it. It's been killing children, and it will not stop until it has gone through every innocent life in this town, Edith said with teary eyes. We lay out our trap. It was easy. I was the willing bait for the thing. I was the youngest, and mother and grandmother had filled me with potions and tinctures to make me more appetizing to the thing. We lured it to a small cave located on our property. We needed a place where prying eyes would not see us, and more importantly, not disturb the thing once it was captured. It came quickly on its shadowed feet. It took no effort to hide itself. It was darkness itself. No prey escaped it once it had set its eyes upon it. By this time, over a dozen children and young women had been killed. More blame was laid on our feet. We were being threatened to our faces. Dead animals were being thrown into our yards. Bricks with threats written on them were tossed through our windows. When I felt the thing's presence against my back, it took all of the strength I had not to run. Our magic was strong, and unbeknownst to the thing, it was already trapped. I could feel the panic set in when it realized it could not leave the cave. Whispered threats were uttered as it reached for me and found it could not grasp me. It writhed, screamed, and begged, and it promised all manner of worldly goods and powers if we would let it go. We ignored it. We all took turns sealing the cave with bricks and mortar. No easy task to do in the forest on unsteady ground, but we managed. When the final brick was laid, our powers were tied to its containment, to its life, and hopefully, eventually, death. As long as one of us lived, it would be locked behind its prison of earth and brick. But then we started to die, one by one as old age claimed us. My grandmother first, followed by my mother. Constance drowned on a trip to Florida. Edith and Mary lived to be in their 90s, but the Grim Reaper comes for everyone in the end. I am the last. I am in my 80s. I have never married or had children, though it was not for lack of trying. The rumors that it had been me and my coven who had killed those innocents all those years ago never went away. They only grew. And now, no man wanted me. I have been friendless for many years now. I have tried to find out the true name of the thing, but to no avail. I have looked in books. I have scoured the internet, and found nothing. I had reached out to other supposed witches and had been met with scammers and liars. I feel so alone, and now I am dying. The last few years, the harassment has gotten so much worse. I have not been able to safely leave my home, as when I do, I am followed and stalked. I have been threatened with death, and today it seems like they have made good on their threats. My home is on fire. The flames are creeping along my hallway, and I can see the light from the fire getting brighter. And there is smoke, so much smoke. Outside my window, I hear them screaming the same thing people like them have screamed for centuries. Burn the witch! Burn the witch! I have fallen to the floor and I'm coughing, and I am afraid. Afraid for myself and the others. There are so many innocent people that live in this town now. I can feel the thing stirring now. I can feel its anticipation. Once I die, it will be free, and the bricks have already begun to fall away. As the flames finally reach my door, I feel pity. I have no illusions about the pain and fear this creature will unleash upon the people of this town. And they are about to learn a very important lesson, one that will be written in the blood of their children. There is a reason why you shouldn't burn witches. The end. Hey, it's Vox. The fear of the unknown strikes again. That town is doomed, and the worst part is, they're probably gonna blame it on the witches, saying that the murder of the witch has cursed the town. It's so sad. Thank you to the Librarian Chick for letting me share your story. Their links will be in the description and pinned in the comments. This story seemed fitting for October, and I love how it depicted witches as saviors rather than evil people. Don't forget, if you like this video, leave a like, and dislike it if you didn't. And if you want to hear more stories like this, subscribe. We also have a Discord if you want to hang out and chat. Links as always will be in the description. If you've made it this far, the secret message of the day will be a magic wand. When you were younger, did you ever mix up random things together and call them potions? Or was that just me? Thankfully, I didn't do it with any bathroom chemicals because that could go so bad. Alright, that's enough from me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Goodbye, bye bye!